Today marks the 1-year anniversary of Jorge Masvidal KOing Ben Askren in record-breaking fashion.
The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
And somehow, someway, we are looking at Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal this Saturday for the welterweight belt. How the hell did we get here?
Breaking news roundtable for you on this Sunday evening. Of course, as you probably know by now, UFC 251 has dramatically changed.
Let's rewind to January, the last time Masvidal and Usman crossed paths.
Do something. Do something. I'm standing right here. Do something. Do something.
Nah, I'm gonna kill you. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Fuck your ass up. Talking all that shit.
Off the bat, you can tell these two hate each other, constantly going back and forth on social media. This was the perfect fight to make for Dana White. Masvidal had last fought in November 2017 when he defeated Nate Diaz at UFC 244, while Usman knocked out Colby Covington in December at UFC 245, making International Fight Weekend look like the perfect time to hold this epic welterweight showdown. It was just too good to be true. Things got stale after Masvidal claimed the UFC wanted him to take less money for the title fight, and on top of that raised concerns about the bigger picture when it came to the revenue earned by UFC versus the money being paid out to athletes, putting an end to UFC fans' dreams of Usman versus Masvidal. So what now? Well, within 4 months, Gilbert Burns stopped Demian Maia and defeated former champ Tyron Woodley. And what does Burns do next? Calls out his own teammate Kamaru Usman, setting up a championship bout at UFC 251. Everything's on track. It's July 3rd. We're 8 days away from UFC 251. I'm getting ready for a week of Embedded. And out of nowhere, news breaks Gilbert Burns and a couple of his team members have tested positive for COVID. And just like that, the fight is off.
All right, so what happens now? The MMA's best insider, Ariel Helwani, is here. So we basically got 7 days to figure this thing out.
Rumors circulate that Dana White is moving Holloway versus Volkanovski up to the main event, and that was a wrap on the welterweight championship fight. Now, the rest of this is gonna sound like something out of a movie, and it just still doesn't seem real to me. Masvidal puts out this tweet shortly after the news breaks about Burns testing positive. And I'm not gonna lie, I saw it and thought, yeah, right, there's no way. Anyways, rumors continue to creep around the internet that Masvidal's team was talking to the UFC, and I kept thinking BS. But in the end, with Burns pulling out and Dana getting desperate, Masvidal finally had the leverage to get the money he deserved, and somehow, someway, if you're watching this video, Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal will be fighting on Saturday for the welterweight title. The fight we originally wanted and didn't get is happening. I mean, who fights on 7 days notice? Gamebred does. Now, I'm still relatively new to the sport, but a lot of people compare the excitement and buzz right now to how things felt before McGregor versus Diaz won. All I know is thank you Kamaru Usman and thank you Jorge Masvidal. In a year filled with uncertainty and fear, Saturday night will shine light on a little glimmer of sanctity. Ryan's been kind enough to join us. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me. Always a good time.
Again, we did this for UFC 250. It only seemed fitting that we did 251, especially with all the latest news that has broken. This has just been the most insane, 48, 72 hours. Burns was out, then, rumors come in. When you first heard Masvidal was open to taking the fight, what was your thoughts?
I thought, honestly, that's just something that he was just going to say.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just so he could say that he said it.
Yep. Because it would be like a very Masvidal thing. He's got that rep where it's like, okay, I'm going to take that fight on 7 days notice. And then he actually goes through with it. I think Colby said something as well. But dude, could we get a better situation? Again, thoughts and prayers go out to Burns and his camp. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But the fact that, Jorge Masvidal comes in, it's supposed to originally be Masvidal Usman. They can't come to an agreement. Burns goes on a tear. I think he beat Demian Maia and then Tyron Woodley and calls out Usman after that Woodley fight and, gets COVID. And somehow, some way, we're looking at Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman for the main event of UFC 251. But we're going to start off with the women's flyweight. We're going to go from bottom to top on this UFC 251 card. I want to get your opinion here. What are your thoughts looking at this first fight?
I am excited to see Paige get back into the octagon.
Aren't we all?
Reasons. Yeah, for multiple reasons. She's been injury ridden. Her last couple fights, she's really inconsistent. It's kind of been the story of old 12 gauge Van Zant. She's 2-3 out of her last 5 fights. That being said, she's only fought 4 times in the last 4 years, so
That's
she's
crazy.
really spaced. She's just not really that active. Rivas on the other side is extremely active. She's been fighting often, and she's on a 4-fight win streak. A lot of momentum on her side.
So I've read some things that said, like, if Paige loses here, it's, there's a good chance that she might retire. I've heard that she makes crazy money off her Instagram and off other brands, as to be expected. So is that something that you see maybe happening?
Yeah, definitely. Whether it be after this fight or the next, I definitely see her maybe getting into commentating, like a Megan O'Leary type of situation where she's maybe like a side anchor situation. Definitely see a future after fighting for her for sure.
So what are you thinking, Eric? I don't know if I can pick against Paige. I think my heart's telling me that I got to pick Paige, but my head's telling me to pick Rivas. What are you doing here?
Oh, the heart is with Paige. The heart is with Paige. The betting money is going to be on Rivas. That's just how that's unfortunately.
I'm assuming for most guys that's how it is. As we move on to the women's strawweight, dude, this is just fireworks. I can't believe this is the second fight on the pay-per-view.
Oh, this is so exciting! Exactly, the second one right off the bat. You get the Van Zant Rivas fight to kind of get you warmed up, and then it's immediate action with 2 of honestly the top female fighters arguably in the world right now.
Yeah. So I didn't watch the first fight between the 2. I have heard that Rose was winning the fight until was it the 4th or 5th round?
It was actually the second
round. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was actually the second. Yeah.
Did she win that first round though?
Correct. That is
Okay.
honestly how dominant she was in the first round. That people in their minds just have it that she just beat her down the whole fight, when in reality it was only a 2-round fight.
Wow.
Rose, I believe it was a 10-8 first round with complete domination by Rose. However, Jessica, just being as strong as she was, one slam was all it was needed to really disorient Rose, and Jessica really took advantage of that.
And Jessica has fought since then, and Rose hasn't?
Correct. That is 100% correct.
Okay. Where do you see this going?
I honestly think Rose is going to pull this one out. She's just a little bit more technically sound than Jessica, though Jessica is considerably a little bit stronger, I would say.
Yeah.
Rose, though, is the more technical fighter, though she can avoid those big heavy haymakers, those big slams. I think Rose can get out of here, hopefully with the decision.
So you see a decision? Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm super excited for this. As we move forward, the first championship fight of the night. 3 championship fights on one card. Anytime you can say that, it's just, it's going to be a special night. We got Petr versus Jose Aldo for the bantamweight title. I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll give my opinions. Okay?
Sure, absolutely. I am not. I know there's a lot of fighters out there that are just diehard Aldo guys.
Yeah.
I am not one of those guys. I came into the game obviously a little bit later than Aldo's peak. I'm gonna give this one to Jan.
Okay.
The dude is extremely active, not extremely long. That's not going to be Aldo's game anyway. He's going to be able to get inside Aldo. I think he's got a tougher chin. I really think he's just going to get it done over Aldo.
Okay, so you surprised me there. I thought you were going to go Aldo. That's why I let you go first. For me personally, I saw Jan. I remember that Jan Uriah Faber fight, and that was just, dude, the power that Jan possesses. It just seemed like he could do it all. I'm going to go Jan as well. Again, I believe Aldo's last fight was against Marlon, right? Where Marlon won, but people thought Aldo potentially could have won that fight. I think it was a decision, right?
Yes, a lot of confidence actually coming out.
Yeah.
Aldo should have felt good coming out from that fight.
I totally agree. I like what Jan's got. It seems like he's got the full package.
Hasn't lost in the UFC.
Dude, I'm going to go Jan. At the co-main event, we have the Featherweight Championship, a rematch. Oh, Ryan, I keep going back and forth here. What are you thinking?
First off, I am extremely grateful that this was able to happen so quickly.
Oh, totally.
I am gonna go against my heart, and it seems like it's the theme this entire card. Against my heart, and I'm gonna go with Volkanovski.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just think this is a terrible matchup for Max.
Yeah.
Whereas Max likes to free flow, kind of jab and weave. Volkanovski's a tank, and he's built for the long haul, and I think it's a stylistic nightmare for Holloway.
I agree with you, man. Like, I keep thinking I want to pick Max, but then I went back and I watched the first fight, and I was just, dude, Alexander looked so good in that fight, and he just seems to be getting better and better. I'm hoping Holloway made some adjustments. I know his legs got absolutely murdered in that first fight.
Absolutely,
so bad, man, just torn apart. So you assume they've made adjustments. I would like to see Max get the belt back. I just don't know if it's going to happen here, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my heart would love to see Max take it back, but set up a sweet trilogy.
Yeah.
I don't see it really happening. History really shows it's incredibly hard to get your belt back after you've lost it. History, style, I have to go with Alexander here.
Yeah. And finally, dude, it doesn't seem real. It's not going to set in until, they walk out. We have the Welterweight Championship. We have Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. And just 6 days notice, Masvidal takes the fight. Shout out to Usman and Masvidal for agreeing to this. What are you thinking here?
Dude, I have goosebumps right now.
Literally,
absolute
right?
Goosebumps right now. It's a match made in heaven. The stars align, like you name it. That's what's happened here. These guys hate each other.
Yeah.
These guys are excellent fighters, two of the best in the division. I mean, you just really couldn't ask for anything more.
No, you couldn't. And I was talking about it a couple days ago with a friend. I don't know, across the UFC if there's, I obviously Paulo Costa, Israel. I'm excited for that. We got Stipe versus DC coming up, the trilogy. You have Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. Khabib versus Tony. Anything that Conor does is always fireworks. But this is one of the most anticipated fights across the entire UFC, not just the division, across the entire division. And the fact that we're getting this on July 11th makes me so happy, Ryan.
All right, so I got to know, who do you have?
Dude, I can't. I want to pick Masvidal, and I do. I'm going to pick Masvidal. I don't think it's the smart pick. And if you're a betting man, don't bet Masvidal because, 7 days. I was watching an interview today with Ariel today where he basically said he's been training, but he's not been, in the gym for a fight camp, just kind of doing his own thing. I worry he could potentially, I don't know if we've really seen Masvidal get gassed. He could potentially be gassed if he has to go 5 rounds. I also don't know. I know he's got a decent wrestling background, right, Masvidal?
Yeah, that's very slept on. His jiu-jitsu and his takedown defense is phenomenal. And I feel like that's not discussed enough.
Because that's the thing. I don't think it's talked about, I don't know what side of Usman we're going to see here. Are we going to see, the Usman-Woodley fight, or are we going to see the Usman-Colby fight? Because I think people went in that Colby fight thinking he was going to just take him to the ground and, it was just be ground game the entire time. It was the exact opposite. It was stand-up. So what about you? I've done enough talking here, Ryan. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions. What are you thinking?
Those are excellent points. You're exactly right. What are we going to get? Which side of Usman is he going to wake up on the bed? Is he going to be the aggressor? Is he going to be the wrestler? History shows he's going to be a wrestler. Yeah. I would assume he's going to want to spend as little time exchanging with Masvidal as possible. Again, Masvidal's takedown defense, exceptional. Though I still think that's got to be Usman's number one game plan. Get him to the ground, get him tired, because you don't know exactly what type of cardio Masvidal has after a week. Like you said, you've been training. You haven't been training for a person. Flip side, Usman has been training for burns, which essentially is, when I really thought about it, was like a great value version of Masvidal. They do a lot of the things similar. Masvidal just does them, in my opinion, a little better. My pick, if you'd asked me an hour ago, I'd have said Usman. but I'm saying Jorge, Gamebred, Street
Bro.
Jesus, Masvidal, you put the house on it.
You just got to. You got to risk it all for Masvidal, especially with how things have gone. I think today marks the 1 year anniversary of when he KO'd Ben Askren.
The knee heard around the world.
Exactly. So I can't not bet on Jorge Masvidal. I think one other thing that I want to point out is I'm hoping, the fact that Usman really, really hates Masvidal, he's going to stand up and just try to trade jabs with them the way he did with Colby. And if that's the case, I do like Jorge. Jorge's he's incredible on his feet. I mean, we saw what he did to Nate Diaz. You saw him knock out freaking Darren Till. But this fight can go so many different ways. I am so unbelievably excited. Guys, make sure you do check out Ryan. I will leave his link down below. One other thing, Ryan, I was watching Gilbert Burns talk about it today. My only fear about if Masvidal wins the belt, right, is what happens next. Masvidal, if Usman said he wants to be active, he's going to fight, title defenses and stuff like that. I could see Masvidal maybe sitting on the welterweight division, maybe look for a fight with Conor. I know he's talked about a Nate Diaz rematch. Is that a fear of yours?
Yeah, I don't think holding a belt is as important to Masvidal as it is to winning a belt.
I agree.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what
so
you're
like he just wants to beat the best of the best, whatever that means. But yeah, you could definitely have that fear. You wouldn't be unjustified having that fear.
Yeah, guys, let us know in the comments what you guys think. Make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do drop a subscription. Thank you again, Ryan. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you guys tune in Saturday evening. Until next time, we'll catch you guys soon. Peace.